Man, I was let's actually talk for a second about my destroyed intentions. Oftentimes I'll draw the plan of something I want to do, like an agenda of just how I think the week will go, what day I'm going to put this up, or what day I'll go and do that. And this other person will basically announce something at the last minute. And when I say that, it could be the day before, the night before. Usually it's the afternoon before or the evening before that they'll tell you to go and do something. So, for example, I streamed on Sunday instead of Saturday this week because on Saturday I was going to stream and I fell asleep like prematurely or earlier than I had planned. Like, just, you lay down, you get tired, you pass out. And one of my subscribers donated to me, gave me like, I think it was like I think $4 or $5. And I never like to just wrap it up after somebody gives something because I don't do this for donations. But my internet started acting up, and there's this thing where, like, once the connection starts going buggy, it's hard to get it to what's good putting it start back up again. It's difficult to just have it resume in place or continue where you picked off. So, like, I can change the connection, I can restart the connection, but the stream is just like gone at that point. Like, I'll just be sitting here speaking into a void because it won't begin again. I don't know why that's the case. I know in the past I used to be able to reconnect and continue talking, but at this point it's unfortunately just not something I can do. Um so I really have been disappointed by a lot of behaviors that people have demonstrated. There's a lot of things that they do that don't line up with what they say. Um, and we all have I think we all have an idea of how relationships are supposed to be, of how people are supposed to act. And I was thinking about, because I've outlined this scenario a few times over the course of the last few months, but I remember when I got my job, I was so excited, right? Because it had been 11 months since I'd worked somewhere. And I thought, finally, it looks like things are going to start getting better. I had worries and fears that I was going to be let go of after a month or so because that's what these other places had done. But to my slight surprise, that was not the case. But of course, as I explained before, I only worked there for about a month before we hit the fan in terms of just, pay this, pay that, pay this, pay that, relating to this place. And then also everyone's favorite um, begging relative that purports themselves to care about me, but couldn't be bothered to actually ever do anything. And my mind flashes back to May of last year, right when the homeless saga began. And I always try to explain to people that the reason I decided to, like, just get up and say forget it and leave from here, right, when that person was talking about Zell me $500, is because they were fully aware that I was unemployed. They gave this warning at the end of March that they proceeded to say nothing about throughout the entire following month, to where there was actually some suspicion on my part that they may have forgotten about, just said it while they were mad. But I took it seriously enough to try looking for a job really harder than I had done up to that point. And after a month of driving around town, going to all these stupid interviews, the reward I received was to be was to supposedly receive the expectation to be extorted for $500,000 every month while being unemployed. Uh, and I said, well, I don't see the point of putting up with that nonsense, with this ridiculous increase. I guess I'll put it this way: in retrospect, it just seems like the only thing this person cares about is money, and they used the excuse of being mad at me for being rude or whatever nonsense they came up with as a justification to like squeeze more coins out of a person that they've already been extracting things from ever since they started living with them several months prior. But I said that to me that was like the real perfect example of the fact that they were full of crap. Like every time in the past that somebody said this person cared about me, it was all validated to just not be true. Because I said, what person who is concerned about the well-being of another would be fine with that person not having uh anywhere to stay. Like you go up to this person that you know is unemployed and you stick your hand out demanding hundreds and hundreds and half $1,000, expecting this to be the new normal per month. And they're supposed to just acquiesce to this and I guess like put their fingers, because I had already like abandoned hope at various points of even getting another job. I said, look, it's just too difficult, right? You go and apply to all these places, there's nothing back. So I was fully convinced that it could be another several months of me just looking and having nothing. And I'm not going to be afraid of running out of money at this exponential rate because you want to sit here and try to extort me in some bizarre attempt to get me to hasten my search. Because I said before, I can't control if someone hires me. I can't control if they don't want to give me any damn hours. It's that simple. So yeah, I left from there and I didn't see this person for several weeks. They had the built-in excuse that their way of retconning what happened is to say that I chose to be homeless. I chose to make them charge me several hundreds of dollars as an unemployed person a month. Um, which is completely insane. It shows their inability to be responsible. My thing is like if you're gonna kick someone out, own up to it. Go like own up to the fact that yeah, I came up to him. I said I need help, even though he's already paying this other thing. Uh, so you better get out of here if you don't have this. Like, I just wish they would be honest about what actually occurred. It's not, oh, this person just decided I'm done paying stuff. Forget it. Um, but yeah, ever since May of last year, it was 300 a month, right? And then over the next like couple of months, there was the added thing of the like car insurance that was 80 something dollars. And for let's see, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. And if you want to throw in the last 6 months, that would be, it's been a full year of just paying 300 something dollars just to stay with your own relative. And this is roughly about $1,000 every 3 months. Now, as I've said before, this stuff with the bank, somebody else did that. They went and got this house reassessed, and every month the bank tries to collect their tax, and I have to use this other thing and like add on several hundreds of dollars, like an amount that's higher than what I pay just to stay here. And I'm always going to keep saying this. To me, I think if someone is aware of the fact that a person who is a part-time employee, where some weeks they don't even give you a full set of days. They might give you 3 days, they might give you 4 days. For the next 2 weeks, they're looking to only give me 2 days, which is absolutely nuts. But I always feel like if you're aware that someone is not receiving as much work as they would like, or is not receiving a full-time schedule of work, it is completely insane to expect them to be able to pay the price of something that is again over half $1,000, already like at least a whole week or 2 weeks of work for me, and then also churn out several hundreds of dollars to quote unquote help you, and then also be able to like have some money left over to pay for gas and food and other basic utilities that you couldn't be bothered to assist them with whatsoever. And this is where we start to get into the kind of like and that's why I called it like absolute insanity. I can't, like, sometimes I'll watch something and I'll think about what is the other person's like mind frame here, right? Like what are they thinking? And in their mind, her mind, it seems like there is no thought about, hey, maybe this is too much, maybe this is, I mean, the only instance where, because this has been going on for half a year, right, where you're just like you work some job where probably over the course of the month you get maybe, let's say at best like 1,400, 1,500, and you have to piss out 80 to 90% of your check on stuff with the bank and then with this person. And the only time that this has ever been directly acknowledged by her was last month when she became upset over, I mean, this is, and again, like pure craziness. So, like, again, this is the same person that last year got angry with me for being unemployed, right? And used to insult me, all the rest of that stuff. And they wanted me to pick somebody up because that's like my task for some reason. I don't, it's all, that's why I said, like, it's always, I find it so funny how people will always look at a person that can't do everything on their own as like this individual like lacking independence. But then when the same people who are like call themselves assisting that person are trying to also extract services from you, right? Uh, Nobody like criticizes it, says what the hell, like, okay, you have to pay several $100s to stay with your own damn relative. Why do you need to also perform like this weird taxi service where you have to drive 30 miles every time you go to pick this person up that you have no responsibilities to? But I was saying that I got into this argument with them last month. I did a video where I like cryptically alluded to it, where I was talking about how they called me lazy for like not wanting to pick this person up, even though the biggest reason for that is because I go to a job. And that was actually when the friction, like what caused the friction, that they wanted me to do it on Friday, and I had to go to my job on Friday. And I was thinking about how insane it is, right? That your excuse for not performing this favor for them, I feel like it's probably the most ironclad one you could have. Hey, I have to work. And they find a way to criticize you and call themselves trying to confront you for not helping. And I'm like, you don't help, quote unquote, but then you pay for all this crap on top of paying the bank whatever amount of money that they need as well. And when I mentioned, right, like how much like this stuff was costing me, because I was, again, like the point is that you're talking about someone's entire damn check being eaten up every month by these two hundreds of dollars worth expenses, and then them somehow still being expected to survive with whatever little bit is left over. Uh, the response by this person was, "Look at how much I have to pay." And when I heard that, I was really disgusted because, again, it's like the same tone deafness. It's like you you make twice as much as me per hour. You actively choose to not go to your job. I, on the other hand, have never once called out sick. I've always gone to every single day of work they've allowed me to take. I've worked shifts where people didn't want to come in. I mean, I felt like I was stretching myself out as far as I could, and it didn't make sense to me that someone that's working that damn much would be afraid of running out of money. Like it wasn't like I had this person who said this, oh, it's a transitional period. It's like, no, but you're not supposed to work a job and not only have the bank taking most of what you earn because of something that somebody else did, but then also have the supposedly so concerned about you relative going doing this every couple of weeks, every few days. I mean, like literally every month is the same thing. The first 7 days, this person demands $100 something now for car insurance. Week after that, the bank is trying to, that's when like the thing to pay that comes in. 2 weeks later, 200 for internet, and then 100 for, they call it supplies, which has always been the term I found the most comedic, because what it is that the only time they'll buy something that is like in quotations for me is if it can be used for other people. So like uh they say, oh, I buy detergent, I buy you know uh toilet paper. It's like, which I don't believe those two things cost $100. Like I refuse to believe that, especially how quickly they run out of it. But I was saying, if you're buying supplies, you would think you would give me some toothpaste, some soap. Nope, still have to buy that on your own. So again, it's like, again, more of the same rhetoric of just the appearance of doing something for you, but really the only time anything is done for me is when it's just affecting everybody. It's almost never specifically for me. And I was saying that's really what the biggest problem here is that you can't get this person, no matter how bad your situation gets, to ever acknowledge how bad it is. Like, I started to get the idea in my head of, okay, I'm sick of this back in, I think it was April. Um, Either April, or if it wasn't April, it was certainly last month as well, where I just said, okay, this is dumb. Paying out all this, like the bank thing is whatever. That's something that has to be done to keep this place or whatever. But it's adding insult to injury when this person who is aware, completely aware of how much you're having to piss out for the bank, is also doing this. And I said, it doesn't matter if the bank wanted $100, $200, 400, 600, which is actually close to what I actually have to pay, 800, 1,000. This person would expect you to pay all of that and also give them something as well. And then somehow, again, be able to squeeze out money to eat that month and get gas and all the rest of your essentials that they couldn't be bothered to help you with, but are very determined to, deprive you of the resources to even be able to get. But over the last day or two, they started bothering me about giving them $100 for these supposed supplies, and I was very apoplectic about doing this because of what I'm planning to do, which is just get out of here again. And I was saying, it's crazy to me that, again, in their mind, like, here's what happened yesterday. I go to pay this thing, and just like, imagine this: you go to pay something that's $600, $700. You've been doing this now for months and month and month and month and month and month, and this person's like, "Can you also give me 100?" So in a few days, today you're going to pay $600 or $700 to the bank, and then also withdraw 100 for them to go buy things that, again, like, why do they need your money to do that? And then also pay $200 for some crappy internet that seems to go off every time you turn around. And this is all going to be followed up by, in a week after that, them sticking their hand out for car insurance money. So altogether, that's actually around $1,100 in like maybe 9 or 10 days. Like, damn. And remember, you're supposed to also be able to somehow pay for food and gas while giving them all. And this goes back to why I said the whole situation is so depraved, because the circumstance with the bank has created a new situation where it doesn't make any sense to me to be expected to pay that and then also give this person something when they, for the most part, really don't do anything for you. Like, you live in this little crappy house or whatever, but in terms of actually assisting you with something and whatnot, it really, it's barely anything at all. Like, I talked about how they went over to another country earlier this year, and they were gone for like a week, and I didn't miss them. There was no, they don't do anything. I mean, they come to the place, they try to hit me up for some cash or to go and pick somebody up from school or whatever the hell. And besides that, we don't really have a relationship. It's just, what can I get out of him this week or this month or whatever. Because it's all just parasitic. It's all just, how can I extract something? But the most obnoxious thing they've been doing, and I absolutely despise this, is that they will wake me up at So like they know I go to work. I like it tends to be later in the day, right? Like 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. I have to leave today at like 4 o'clock. And they have no problem waking me up at some ridiculously early hour of the day to try and quiz me or question me on something, right? Like, so today I'm laying down, sleeping. I went to sleep probably like 3 in the morning. Again, I go to sleep late because I work late, so I tend to stay up at later hours of the day. And this person wakes me up. Can you go to the bank and get the 100 today? And I'm just like, why do you do this? See, stuff like this, it's not hard to see why that would piss me off. For some people, myself included, we don't just go to sleep on command. We don't just like, oh man, just lay our heads down and then we go to bed. No, sometimes it's difficult for us to when we're woken up, go back to sleep. And it's like the thing she's waking me up over isn't an emergency. It's not the end of the world if they don't get their $100 by today. Whatever stuff is so essential, they would go buy it themselves with their own damn money. So that's why I'll probably just end up getting out of here today. Since the only thing anybody's good for is trying to squeeze money out of me, I see I should just vanish, just get out. Might even do that after this stream is over. I had plotted to exit on, what was it, Sunday, but I guess we have to move things up a little bit. It's just I don't know. This is one of those things where it's like I never thought I'd see the day where I'd have this obligation, like people always talk about like stuff you have to do, right? I'd have this obligation to pay off something that I didn't take out. And then at the same time, this other person who's already been extracting things from me, it's just, I guess if we go off of what their plans are, you're supposed to just give all your goddamn money to the bank and to them, and then I guess hope that whatever you make the following month covers both. But like I said, I'm looking at my job, and they actually just posted the schedule for the week after next week. And lo and behold, I have 2 days. I have 4 days this week. And then 2 days for the week after that. Then 2 days for the week after that, which takes us halfway in the next month. And I said, so this is what the problem is. I can guarantee that at a minimum, I'll probably get about $700 or $800 by midway through next month. This is assuming I'm not able to pick up any more shifts because people are like really desperate and they're taking other people's things instead of me. And if that's the case, it's like you're going to give all that money that you earned for that month to the bank, and then this person's going to like still stick their hand out like this. And I guess you're supposed to just have nothing to be able to survive with. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. But they do a lot of subtle things that piss me off, and they're never like self-aware enough to ever correct it. Like I say to them, hey, can you stop waking me up at 6, 7 in the morning on days where I have to go to a job later on in the day? Well, you also wake me up when you walk around at 3 or 4 in the morning, even though you don't actually say anything to me. Because everything is about them. The whole world revolves around this one person that nobody ever heard of that's never accomplished anything. I don't mind saying it about them because look at all the nasty stuff that's been said about me. I told you to get a job. I'll never forget that stupid line from last year. And even though I have a job, it still doesn't matter because look at how much money is being extorted from these two sources at the same time. I even said earlier, I was like, what's the point of working if all of your money goes to stupid stuff that you don't actually see a benefit from? But no, I really think that there's a lack of compassion. I mean, you know, me deciding to just get up out of here is not about, oh, he doesn't want to pay anything anymore. It really is, he just can't afford it. Like, he's going to keep churning out, you know, $700 or $800 to the bank, and then also be expected to give you this amount that seems to, like, it's just too much. And again, I think it's sad that you can you can have people that, like, they don't care. Like, the only thing she's concerned about is this. To hell with if I can eat, to hell with if I have, I mean, it doesn't matter to her. And it seems like the biggest theme of the last year and a half, really the last like 2 years, has been this continued demonstration of just how much people just do not care about me. Like, I whatever, the internet stuff is whatever, but like, I think about, ever since January, you've had this lousy circumstance of having to pay someone 300 or $400 a month, on top of paying the bank like $700 or $800 too. And the person that you give the $300 to $400 to is fully aware that that's money you could use to, take care of yourself, right? Feed yourself. This is stuff they will not assist you with at all, ever. Um, but they still expect you to give it to them. And at the same time, right, you had this coworker that you thought was your friend, and then that person tried to destroy you, right, over like something really stupid. Um, People just do not care. Like, they will, if you inconvenience them in any way, they'll be the first ones to say, get out of here. And that's why I said, like, I don't even, when I do my whole departure thing, I really say to myself, what's the point of staying somewhere where you can barely afford to even be there? Like, you can pay it this month, and then what happens next month? You Because you don't want to get two jobs, or your job decides to only give you two shifts per week, you just aren't able to eat this month. What is that? Because, like I said, as bad as this job can be in terms of like not giving any hours, are starting to give less and less hours, it seems. I can still realistically say that at a minimum, the amount from this week and then the next like 4 weeks would be enough to pay the bank. But as in terms of like both the bank and her, and then also trying to squeeze something out of there for food, it's too much. And she is absolutely insane for even thinking that makes any type of sense. But yeah, you would think with adults they could be sat down and reasoned with, but nope. I'll never forget one of her famous lines this year. You'll get your money back. Eventually, you'll get your money back. You're gonna get your money back. And every month the place does not sell. It just goes on and on and on. And it was funny because she acknowledged this, but it doesn't really bug her all that much that it doesn't sell as fast as I would like, or maybe even she would like, because she doesn't have to pay any of this. It's just a sad situation. It really is, because it's about, like, it's about greed and desperation, right? Desperation in the sense that this person is constantly trying to get something out of you. I guess what I'm always bothered by is the idea that that an individual can put so much time into this idea of, like, you're nothing, right? Oh, that little 200-300 you pay, that's nothing. That's whatever. But then if you don't pay it, here they come blazing, pissed off, angry, right? Uh, if you don't pick this person up from school twice a week and drive 60 miles to go, a whole gallon, waste a whole 2 gallons of gas to do this errand for them, right? They get upset. But it's like, again, if you're nothing, if you don't matter, if your contributions are so insignificant, why does it matter if you don't do this for them? That's why I say it's all just contradictions. Kotsky merchant hasn't been seen. I don't know how many months. He just decided to vanish. He flew the coop. Yeah, those idiots on Discord are getting ready to get their just desserts. I mean, I had one of them yesterday do something that really like I wasn't even entirely sure because like I said before, I wanted to just come on there, talk to some people, see how if things had changed any bit. But one of them yesterday, they when they got through doing what they did, I said, "Yep, it's video time." I wrote about 4 pages of a script, and they're one of the starring characters of it. And we have all types of materials that we're going to use. And I just, I just don't like understand how people can be this way. But there are some similar themes, right? Like this person makes it sound like they care about you. I leave a call and they start inquiring as to why I'm gone, and then they reveal all this personal stuff about themselves, which gets you to kind of like drop your guard a little bit, in turn reveal some stuff about you. You start thinking, hey, maybe this person actually wants to get to know me. Why else would they be sending me pictures and just spilling out all this intricate stuff about themselves? And then over the next few days, barely respond, not attentive to you at all, won't like just it's like there's the movie called, I think it's the movie, right? Invasion of the Body Snatchers. If you told me that I spoke to one individual back on, I think it was like Thursday of last week, Friday of last week. Yeah, Thursday, Friday. And that person had been replaced by someone with like the same voice, but a whole different attitude and temperament toward me. I believe it because I look at the actions again from that day and the stuff after that, and it's like two different people. And it's so bizarre. Like I've said before, I did the stream, right? Where are the payoffs? I'll never be able to understand how somebody can just there are actions that don't line up, I'll put it that way. And for me, I couldn't imagine revealing all this personal stuff about myself to somebody just to like cut them off, a week later. It's weird. It's very weird. But like I said, the weirdness of that person is going to be made fun of in a video sooner than later because I was disgusted. Like I was actually talking to somebody as this happened, and I just couldn't put up with it anymore. There's a lot of bizarre behaviors on here. People pretend to like you so much it's not even funny. Like I said before, I prefer like trolls or whatever to these people online because like especially on Discord, because at least with the trolls they say they don't like you, they don't try to like get you in some set of private messages where they're talking about, oh, I've missed speaking to you and I like talking to you and all the look, because I've got the proof of all the compliments, all the stuff that she was saying. And again, it's like all that for what happened a week later, it doesn't add up to me. And this goes back to why I say things are just backwards. They're not. There's nothing you can really rely on with these individuals. You just have to kind of go into it just expecting that they're going to let you down, they're going to betray you, you know. It's going to be some scenario that's unappealing, that's like coming up inevitably. No, I remember there a few years ago there was like this guy. It might have been even further back than that, but like there was a guy who was he came to some video I did and he was like making fun of me. He's like, how can you expect to have an actual relationship or connection with someone you've never met in person? You know, just like besmirching me for like, even attempting with stuff online. But it's like this when things in real life are lousy, right? Many of us try to supplement that with stuff over the computer. Um, I know if the thing with my coworker did not completely blow up in my face, I would have little to no interest in trying with someone online again. But because that situation was so bad and I desperately wanted to wipe the taste out of my mouth of just that whole filthy situation, I again tried starting it up with some new people, and it has not gone that great. People online, they love to besmirch someone. How can you expect to have a relationship with someone? It's like, well, hell, I couldn't expect to have a relationship or anything at all with people I know in real life. I mentioned before, I have these coworkers where, yeah, they giggle in your face and laugh and act like they want to talk to you when you're at the job, but once you get clocked out, it's like you don't even exist. They don't call you. They don't see a message. Hey, how you doing? You busy this weekend? Nothing. You're nothing to them. You're nothing. Hmm. Yeah, it's just I don't know. I get surrounded by a lot of chicks that do the same thing. Smile in your face, giggle, all the rest of that. Um, but I always have to remind myself none of it is real. When they ask you personal things about yourself, acting like they're so curious about you, they don't. That's fake as well. Man, a Akatsuki merchant literally came here just to say, "Hey, what's up?" and then vanish. Make a nice little cameo. I don't even think he likes my channel anymore because he barely like he won't even write like a comment or anything. So it's whatever. Everybody goes through a to hell with Justin phase. I mean, I'm getting that in real life from people at this point. Oh, but yeah, I just think the whole situation is lousy. Mm. I think it's really insane to work a job and to see almost no benefit from working the job because the stuff you pay is just so damn high that it takes up almost the entire check you have. I think it's crazy that we get told so often about relatives loving someone, right? This word they like to throw around, but then if you actually like watch how they act and the types of things they say and do, it's not real. No, everything is just so backwards. And like I said, I would have given, all types of things just to have a semi decent scenario. Like, yeah, you gotta pay the bank 700-800 bucks a month, but hey, you know what? At least this relative is like aware of that and isn't charging you to stay with them, knowing you have to pay all this other stuff. But nope, they do this too. Stick their hand out. And the thing about Discord is like when we go over most of them in the video, I don't get any type of real connection with them. I just like, okay, this person talked to me a little bit, then they got rid of me. This person talked to me a little bit, then they stopped responding. Whatever it happens. But like that one in particular from yesterday, that really pissed me off because it's not just about, oh, you try to say hi to someone and they get rid of you. It's like, okay, what was the point of, I guess in a way she kind of reminds me of Miss Revolving Door, where it's like, why reveal all this stuff about yourself to someone that you're just gonna stop speaking to in a few days, a few weeks? Like it just doesn't make sense to me. It's not congruent. Like this woman told me about her mom, her dad, her brother, her damn boyfriends that cheated on her. It's just I don't get the logic of revealing all this stuff to somebody just to be done with them in a week. And the funniest thing was when we were both in a VC together last night, and she had her mic muted throughout the whole. I think she was in there for like 40 minutes. I'll never understand the logic of just like sitting in a group call, right? And then you're listening to music. Like, okay, you can just go listen to the music. You don't have to like over drown us out with the tunes. I just thought it was weird. But then again, like I said, I don't know how these people's brains work. Mm. I don't know what kind of logic they're lacking. Everything is just so weird now. Serious. Like what's even the point of engaging in most of this stuff, honestly? I mean, again, you go and talk to some woman. I said before, I was like talking to this guy yesterday. I said, you go and talk to some woman and the same two scenarios tend to always play out. The person either stops responding abruptly, right? Won't even answer you back anymore, or they get like mad over something that is not that big of a deal, and then just throw you in the trash can. Like I talked about the girl that has the PowerPoints and how before I even had this damn DM call with her, everybody was making fun of how stupid her username was, and she was laughing about it. But then when I make one like a nickname or whatever, that's enough for her to just be like, no, never, don't speak to me ever again and block me, like for real. That's why I said stuff like that is just so weird to me. Just like they turn on you so fast, and it doesn't even have to be something that's a big deal. Like I've had people I stopped speaking to because we got into an argument or some big fight, but if you say or do anything that they don't like, it's over. They are the most block happy, end relationship quickly individuals you've ever seen. And like I said, this isn't even just a computer chick problem because we were talking about this before. The coworker thing, like more proof of that. I mean, here's somebody that they were completely willing to just never speak to you again because you got mad at them for standing you up at the last minute, and they get like lightly teased, whatever day that was. I guess it was a Sunday, and that inspires them to hatch a revenge scheme. One that's so stupid that it doesn't work, but still, it's like the intent was there, and it's like all this thinking of you in this horrid way of like, I must get back at him. And it's like, what did you do? You made fun of weird tendencies on her part. That was like the big sin. That was the big crime that you must be punished for. Are you kidding me? Are you serious? That's why I said you can't take things with them seriously. You can't allow yourself to be convinced that any of this is real. Like I said, the way she was acting last week versus this one, it's like two different people. God, every time I join one of these calls, I try to have fun, make some jokes, but what's even the point? Am I right? You're gonna entertain some people, and then if it's a woman, they're gonna just like block you or unfriend you or stop speaking to you a week later. What's even the point? The same thing with the paying all this ransom over here. It's like you go and pay 700-800 for this house, and then this person will extract what 300-400 from you in the next couple of days, and then after that you're just supposed to, I guess, hope that your job decides to give you more than 2 shifts a week. So yeah, everything just feels so pointless. Oh man. And trust me, I really don't enjoy having to go through a second homeless saga. But like I said, I've been staving off this for months, and I'm tired of it. I'm tired of being afraid I won't be able to get a damn burger without uh worried that, oh my god, this $10 is gonna have to go to the two ransoms I have. So whatever. The only thing my own damn family cares about is money. If your name is in Washington, Jefferson, Jackson, Lincoln, you might as well not even exist. Ben Franklin, I mean, like they don't care. Hey, person who's trying to rest for their job at later on today, can you make sure you give me my 100 before you go? It's like, god damn, let me go to sleep. Let me rest. But they don't care. Because to them it's completely okay to just do this to somebody. And that again is one of my biggest problems with them, just like the complete insensitivity to the fact that I have a job. I mean, they call me a fool for driving as far as I do to go to the job, even though they're also full of crap because, like I said, they want me to drive a whole damn gallon worth of gas to and back to pick up somebody. uh Many times they would wake me up in the morning knowing I have to start my shift in the afternoon or evening, right? Which is another problem I have with them because they know that the shift starts later in the day, but then they're still going to try to like get you up at 6 and 7 and 8 a.m. Uh, they are fully aware that I'm paying all this money to the bank. Most of my check goes to the bank, and then they still want to stick their hand out and get something. So it's nuts. It's like it's complete lunacy. And like every time you try to sit them down and say, look, it's just too much damn money, they don't want to hear it. In their mind, there's nothing wrong with what they're doing. They can take all your damn cash, leave you with damn near nothing, and it's like your fault somehow. And like I said, man, every month you hear the same song and dance. It's going through this. It'll be sold. You'll get your money back. Yeah. But guess what? It never happens. It's just minus, 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 minus. You could work as much as they allow you to, and it still doesn't make a difference. So, like I said, I guess I'll go back to beginning the quest of trying to get a second job. I really don't want to because, like I said, I tried to have two in the past and it did not go well, but it doesn't really seem to be much I can do. I met a woman last night. Well, I didn't meet her last night, but I've seen her before. I just thought it was funny. It's like this lady brags about being a stay-at-home wife. And what this entails is that she can sit on these websites all day long, playing video games, whatever, smoking, doing whatever little activity. And I said, isn't it sad that like, and again, I'm not even expressing jealousy because I'm not even someone that's against work. And I just hate the idea that like you work so damn hard. You take every shift that your job lets you take, and you're still afraid of not having any money or all of it's going to this. Like it's nuts. It's lunacy. Like I didn't say I live in the twilight zone to be funny. I really do. Like what do you call that when you work a job and you have less money than when you didn't have a job? No, it's nuts. Mm. I mean, I can't seem to get any kind of like peace at all. People are just constantly looking for a way to knock me down before I can even stand up. You go 11 months without having a job and it's just minus, minus, minus. Then you finally get one and then you have to pay even more stuff that like nonstop, what feels like every other week. It's insane. And I was thinking about how, we had this big argument back in December because I didn't want to pay $6,000 in 2 weeks and just completely drain my bank account. And I remember like this person calling me cheap and ungrateful, which is hilarious because they're calling me cheap, but then they wouldn't pay for this whether it's $300 or $3,000. Like they won't spend 1 cent on any of this, but they're gonna like get mad at somebody and call them. It was stupid, right? I said, thank God I fought as hard against doing that as I did because I had the feeling back in December that there was something else that was big that was going to come up that I was going to have to pay. And sure enough, the following month we found out about the place being reassessed and the lovely minus 200 from every month. Lovely minus 2,000 from every month. So great. Yeah, I'm just really irritated. That's all I can say. Like I don't know why I can't just have a job, work at that one job, and then pay this thing, and then that's it. Like I don't know why and then of course you use whatever you have to get food and whatnot. I don't know why there's like the extra added gouging of minus 300 from this person, and oh by the way, go run these errands for me and go buy water every 2 or 3 days. Like it's stupid. That's why I said everything is just so backwards. Like the lack of logic knows no bounds. Give me $300. It's like, well, I have to like also pay for this stuff for the bank and food. Give me $300. And I already said it's been proven that no matter how much you pay, this person still thinks they can throw you out anytime they want. So they were singing the "Get Out of My House" song a few weeks back, and that wasn't even over not paying something. That was over not wanting to run the errand of picking somebody up from school twice a week. Because apparently that's also my responsibility. Even though, as I've said time and time again, I have no children. I don't. I already said before that like they just they'll never be satisfied no matter what you do. It's like, hey, look at this is you want me to pay 800 to the bank and also give you 300 to 400 a month, and then also somehow be able to squeeze out money for food and gas on the salary of a part-time employee. Look at how much I have to pay. I put my hand over my face. I said, "Yeah, you are missing the point, or you just don't care." That's which is like the actual reason. I already said before. It just seems like nothing improves with these people. Like they have no empathy. They have no concern for you at all. You could go die and it wouldn't matter to them. And again, I expect that from the computer people. I mean, hell, I even expect that from the people at my job because it's been like demonstrated that once you're off the clock, they literally will just act like you don't even exist. But it drives me absolutely nuts, like insane, right? That this is your family. Like people, you know, um, I'll put it this way. If I ever and I don't think I will because just of it's the way stuff is with all the daily mass shootings and the times I've been depressed. But if I live to be 49, 50, whatever, and I am so penniless that I have to like try and extract $300 from somebody every month, the same person who I berate as being lazy, the same person who I tell them at any point during the I get mad, you can get out of my house, etc. If I have to go at them for a few $100s a month because I can't supplement it myself, I have failed at life. I'd sooner end my life than end up having to do this sick stuff. Couldn't imagine having somebody I claim to care about on the street because they couldn't afford my uh, ransom. But I said people are just so pathetic. The way they act, the lack of morals, no standards, no decency, no compassion for anyone else. It's really sad that people are this way. You know, I really like sometimes wake up in the middle of the night just thinking about like this scenario, like this situation. I'm like, man, you work as hard as you can just to barely survive. And this person knows how much you're having to shell out to the bank every month. This has now been going on for half a year. And they just don't care. They expect you to give them $2,000 every 6 months, right? No concern for, "Hey, are you able to get anything to eat this month? Or you have money for gas?" No, okay, whatever. No big deal to them. Because you are nothing to them. The only thing they when they look at you, the only thing they see is a way to squeeze is a possible check or some dollar amount. That's all they see. You're nothing besides that to them. You could die tomorrow, and the first thing they would be looking into is, okay, how can I get access to his accounts? I mean, you're nothing to them. You're just this thing that they want to see if they can squeeze something out of, whether it's again money or some other service like that taxi thing of picking somebody up from, just whatever. Like they don't care. It's just really sick behavior. Like I was thinking about that. I said they want me to give them 100 today and then pay 200 by what is it Sunday, and then give them 110 in like a week from then or a few days from then. God damn! Like I remember all of this is on the salary of a part-time employee whose job is about to give him two shifts a week. It's just insane, man. It really is. Because I just feel like there's nothing more I can do. And I said before, the problem with trying to get a second job is that um, the current one gives hours that are all over the place. I'm looking at the schedule right here. They have me next week, July 5th. Uh, well, you know what? I won't even say like basically the next two times are going to be in like the middle, late part of the afternoon, 4 or 5 o'clock. Then after that, it'll be 7. Then the next time will be 11 in the morning. So like I can't get a second job because if I try to get one, that's okay. Look, I'm always available for you guys at this time. Uh, well, if they schedule me for a week at that time, this other one will stick me there at 11 in the morning. I don't know who the hell is making up these schedules, man. It's all over the place. There's no consistency to it at all. Like I started thinking I was someone they saved for the afternoon, right? Like early evening, late evening. But again, they run the gauntlet. They have you there so early some days. Like when I see that 11 to 4 thing, I just want to tear my hair out because it's like, okay, so now there is no consistency. It's just whenever they feel like it. Come and work for us at 10 a.m. and then a week from now work for us at 7 p.m. Just it's weird. But yeah, this whole situation is horrible, and I just I don't know what else to do other than just get out. It's too much, and I hate that one of the people who's supposed to be the most concerned about me seems to give the least of a damn about me. Uh, it's just a really lousy situation, and it further demonstrates. Like I get cynical about a lot of things, right? Relationships and the way people act, but that's because I see the decay. Like I see that people just don't care. Like again, yesterday I had a person who responded to me saying I missed her by just throwing me in the trash can like I was nothing. And the truth is, I am nothing even to members of my own family. So I guess I shouldn't be surprised when someone that reveals all this personal stuff about herself to me as if she wants to get to know me more, open up, whatever, does that as well, or demonstrates that same characteristic. It's all just part of a repeated pattern that shows me that I don't have anything. No, very little to no trustworthy companions, and certainly not relatives that give a damn about anything other than some green pieces of paper. And, I like money just as much as anybody else, but if you see someone struggling, you don't go to the struggling person and say, "Hey, give me more," like, what the hell is that? But that's why I said they're animals. Like, they don't have compassion, they don't have empathy. You're just a piggy bank for them. Hopefully, I can get more than 2 shifts per week. Um, Not gonna quit the job yet because something is better than nothing, even if it is close to damn near nothing. But I don't know, things are just so difficult right now. Like, everything is just I just feel like someone is trying to run me off the road, and there should be accommodations that are made, right? For, like, hey, if you can't afford both of these things, just pay this month. That'll never come out of her mouth because only concerned about what she can get out of me. That's it. Yeah, we have some difficult days ahead. There's going to be a lot of screaming, a lot of cursing, a lot of blaming of me, a lot of pretending that I'm just crazy for not wanting to, not being willing to pay all this insane amounts of money. It'll be real interesting. Um, there will be a lot of lies as well, right? A lot of downplaying of their own roles. Like, imagine having to pay hundreds of dollars to stay somewhere, and then also having to, like, drive 30, was it 60 miles a week to go pick somebody up, and then buying like 80, like, was it 90, 100 bottles of water every week because they wasted and run out of it so damn fast. There's a lot of, like, little subtle stuff they do to try and squeeze something out of you they don't talk about, but whatever. uh if it's what they want, then I'll be history. People, they seem to really prefer me as a ghost, so I'm gonna give it to them. I don't have to be around if I'm not wanted or not cared about. And paying for where someone lives, as they try to say, doesn't cut it, because, like I said, I was only over here for maybe 2 months before I started hearing the "You Can Get Out" song. So it's just an attempt where anything that supposedly is done for you is really just for them. They just use the fact that you also benefit from it as an excuse to not do anything specific for you, like help you with paying for food or gas, uh, or any other utility. So thanks for showing up, and I hope next time I stream I'll have some happier news, but I don't think so. I think we're about to go into another ugly saga that can go for a few days, a few weeks. But the whole, like, extortion thing needs to be stopped. It's getting too ridiculous. So thanks for showing up, and God, these are going to be some crazy days. See ya.